This show is a member of the Sorgatron Media Podcast Network. Find out more at sorgatronmedia.com. This show is brought to you by Slice on Broadway, supporting Pittsburgh podcasting with the perfect pepperoni pizza. Production services by Sidekick Media Services. And listeners like you supporting us at patreon.com/awesomecast.
I'm getting awesome, you're getting awesome, we're getting awesome, yeah, that's what I said now. I'm getting awesome, you're getting awesome, we're getting awesome, yeah, that's what I said.
Nightmares, I don't care, I love it.
It's time to get geeky, get awesome. It is the AwesomeCast. I'm Mike Sorg at Sorgatron on the Twitter here in the Sorgatron Media Studios in Pittsburgh, PA. That's not my name. There it is. And we're ready to get awesome, get geeky with you guys here this evening. We got a lot of fun in line for you tonight. But anyways, first of all, my co-host for this week, from up north. Somewhere in Newcastle, PA is the Dudders.
Hello, friends. I just bought the ugliest pants on earth.
Yeah, this handy to show off again.
Oh, heck yeah.
No, there's some patterns on that. Look at that.
I
also
found them at the thrift store, and I couldn't say no. If you're on audio, I will attempt to describe them. They're squares of multiple colors and diamond patterns, and I don't know what's happening. These are hideous.
But they're perfect. So,
yep.
And also with us, he's back once again from Virginia, right? A gadget guru at a big bank of some sort is Crazy Krause, Ron Krause.
At least you didn't call me a replacement Chilla.
Replacement Chilla? He's the substitute Chilla? No, I was trying to... No. You are your own... You're your own co-host at this point. Come on. So,
Thanks.
but
yeah, 2 weeks in a row. How about that?
And probably more because Chilla's taking a few weeks off. So.
Yeah, exactly. So it just all worked out. So here I am. I got some time. So let's do this.
Absolutely. I love you. Like, I got time. Let's do the podcast. It's just like I happen to be free at 7:00 on Tuesdays. So.
Yep. Makes us feel so special.
Thank you for that. So you know what? I deserve that because I don't know how much I do that with other people with my busy schedule. So, but anyways, this is the AwesomeCast. You can check out everything at awesomecast.com. Email us at awesomecast@sorgatronmedia.com. Tweet us at AwesomeCast or hit up the AwesomeCast Facebook page and also the AwesomeCast Facebook group. A lot of great discussions. Some stories from the week are in there. You can subscribe and rate us on your favorite podcast app. You can also subscribe to the Sorgatron Media master feed. That includes all of the Sorgatron Media properties that are streaming and podcasting with a lot of our good friends there of different geeky avenues. Brand new comic book pit and Bardic Mystery Tour, just both of those just dropped within the last week, so go check those out on the feed. And also you can join us live every Tuesday night at 7 p.m. Eastern Time at, again, the Facebook for AwesomeCast, the AwesomeCast YouTube page, and on the Sorgatron Media Twitch page. So whatever is easiest for you to join us and cast to your devices or however you want to do the shows, they are available to you. So we appreciate everybody that does check us out here live here on Tuesdays. And also, thank you to our Patreon supporters at patreon.com/wrestlingmayhem. No, wrong. AwesomeCast. Patreon.com/AwesomeCast. Hello. Our friends at the Coffee Club level, Matt Weller, John DeGore, John Carmen, Cynthia Klosky, Scott McTaggart of the Pittsburgh Podcast, and Uncle Crappy Mike Pound. And at the Fan of the Show level, Michael Fedor, pghmuseums.org, Professor Buzzkill with his podcast, and Dave Potter of the iPhoneography Podcast. You guys can support the show, get some extra stuff. Today we talked about my new device over here, how this shot, if you're on video, pops up. And which I think we discussed a little bit of before for the behind the scenes. And we also, Ron's a champion. And we talk about that a little bit on the
Here, I'll give you a little
on
preview.
the Patreon. Oh, no. Okay, yeah, there it is. Just happen to find championships lying around, basically. It's not at my place. So, you'd think. So let's get into our awesome things of the week. Katie, you look like you got one.
I did. I figured out something awesome.
Good.
Besides my orange crush that I was drinking earlier, that really matches my pants. So something, if you've been trying, Instagram is definitely pushing Reels. Reels is a big deal.
Oh yeah.
and trying to get that out there. So if you're using Instagram, try to do more reels. The issue with it was max that 30-second limit. Well, now they finally expanded it to a minute to compete with TikTok, which of course TikTok just recently went to 3 minutes for some users.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. So if you haven't been on TikTok recently, you may notice some longer videos. But also TikTok has added a fast forward option on for some of the users too.
Mhm.
So all kinds of stuff. I'm all over the place, all the social media stuff. But so you make sure you're using Reels, and now you have a minute to use it, and definitely take advantage of that whole minute.
I've definitely, when I was doing and I fell out of it partially because of travel and everything, but when I was doing all the TikTok videos for this podcast and a couple others, that 30 seconds really was a limiter. And you know, when you're designing across the board, like we were doing TikTok and we were doing Instagram and then a couple other formats in that form factor, right? So it was just like, well, I'm just going to make everything under 30 seconds. So, but again, we were doing clips, so that was just kind of just fine. But now you're telling me like TikTok is about 3 minutes? Like, yeah. Some of the longer clips we do for like this show, like basically if I put it on Twitter, I can put it on TikTok now, right?
Pretty much, yeah.
So like that really kind of opens it up. So, and I deal with a lot of wrestling promos. And again, like a lot of them are 2 minutes, great for Twitter. But man, now I know like I can throw them at TikTok. So the 3 minutes isn't for everybody, right? On TikTok?
It doesn't seem to be.
Okay.
It doesn't seem to be. At least not everyone's taking advantage of it if they have that option. But it doesn't seem like everyone has that option quite yet.
It'll be interesting to look at. So
how hard is it, Sorg, for you to change your YouTube video into those formats? Like, is it a time-consuming?
A little bit. It's like enough to be an issue when I'm trying to like schedule out like a week worth of videos and stuff, and I was trying to figure out time versus benefit and things like that. And you never know what's going to hit, right? But you want to keep doing it because you don't know what's going to hit, all right? So like that's been the thing. So again, fell out of it. I'm actually been trying to kind of recruit some fellow video people to kind of help do clips for these shows to help that kind of situation. Again, like when something happens and I have to disappear for 2 weeks, like they still get done kind of thing. But I mean, other than that, like, yeah, it's like I found myself like between all the clips I do on YouTube and everything, between this, like both the Tuesday night shows, I'd find myself taking like most of an afternoon to do it. So, you know, making them, scheduling them, doing some cover art for some of them. And that's like, it's not just like TikTok and Instagram. That's also like doing clips for YouTube and, you know, a couple other platforms as well. But I have a template. So if you've seen the one that has like the video, you know, the AwesomeCast logo and the text comes up and everything on the Instagram, I do. It's just a template that I made in Final Cut, and everything kind of snaps pretty easily to it. So, I mean, it's not. After you've kind of figured out what you want that to look like, and you can upload through the browser, so it's pretty great. You're kind of good to go after that. So, but it does take a little more. I mean, it's probably a little heady for anyone who doesn't, you know a video editor. But then stuff like Adobe Spark and things like that kind of automatically make stuff for it. So I think, you know, it's kind of just knowing the tool that you have available. So, and there's what I'm talking about there about how I convert things and make them kind of the vertical with the graphics and everything like that, and just lay it over top. You know, we crop the video appropriately so it still looks like it's pretty decent. So, but yeah, and I'm looking to return to that relatively soon, I'm hoping. So, but anyways, related, I was sitting next to somebody who's has 1 million followers on TikTok, and they just got signed up. Oh, geez, what did I say? I think I put it in the social media thing, didn't I? They just got signed up and approved for, what was it? It was something that TikTok puts you in front of more people. I know I have the term here. TikTok Amplify.
That's it.
So, and again, he's doing like gangbusters on that thing. Has 1 million followers. He's a tattoo artist down there in Delray Beach. He used to live up here in the Pittsburgh area and moved down there and has been doing really, really well for himself. Also has a crazy Instagram following as well. I am Jake Steele if you want to look him up. And we got a video with him dropping today and tomorrow over on fishingwithoutbait.com and their social media outfits as well. But so that was kind of a cool milestone to kind of be present for, I guess. So, but yeah, these are going to, I mean, they're always going to be ramping up these things. So, you know, sooner or later, we're going to be able to put 15-minute TikToks out, right?
Oof.
Do you think so? Because isn't that part of the appeal of the platform? Is the whole, you know, watching and scrolling.
But they got live. There's Instagram.
They get too far long.
Right, but there's Instagram Live, which you would stick around for a while, right? So
that's
I mean,
true.
So all these platforms just kind of start. You know, they start on that one point. Like Instagram was photos, TikTok's like 60-second videos that you scroll through, but then they start adding features until they all kind of look the same.
Well, Instagram's been playing catch up.
Yeah. Well, Instagram wraps in everybody else's features into it, right? So, but
without focusing on their main,
right,
what their strengths are.
Yeah, what brought them to the party, or the thing they bought, right? So, I mean, they really just kind of bought a new endpoint to Facebook land, I guess. So, but I don't know, it works. It's I can put my pictures of the dog, and everybody loves it on there. So, so it does the job, I guess. Anyways, Ron, what's your awesome thing of the week?
My awesome thing of the week is everything old is new again.
Mm-hmm.
I've been down here in Virginia for almost a month now, and obviously I get bored on the weekends. There's not a whole lot going on, so I go to these down here in Virginia. They have a lot of outdoor mall kind of areas, kind of like the Southside Works in Pittsburgh.
Mm-hmm.
But they're laid out a little different. So I found this arcade. It was actually like a bowling alley / arcade. And they had, if you bring up the picture, Sorg, they have, believe it or not, Pac-Man and Space Invaders, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. These were, large video games. Like the Pac-Man, I think, is even labeled world's largest Pac-Man.
Mm-hmm.
And I just thought it was hysterical. Like all these old games that I played as a kid, are now all back. And the Space Invaders game even had sit-down chairs with guns, which I thought was very interesting. So I just found that pretty fascinating. They're bringing back these old games. I know people always complain about Hollywood, remaking movies. I guess we're now starting to do that with video games.
I noticed a couple years ago when I went down to the Boardwalk arcades in Myrtle Beach, and it's the same thing, right? It was like these big screen things. You have the Tomb Raider game in there, which I laugh because that's like exactly the same. They just took the Tomb Raider game from like the reboot game from like the Xbox One a few years ago, and they turned it into a shooter basically. But you're like going through this, and like the intro video, we're like playing a little bit of it. I'm like, this is just the game, and then they just have a different interface for you to play with the guns, right? So you also got to think like the arcade industry isn't pushing the envelope technology wise anymore because all that came home. So in the last 10 years or so, you go to Dave & Buster's. I remember when going to Dave & Buster's, the first time I saw they had an Angry Birds game and they had a Fruit Ninja game. I saw Crossy Roads. A giant Crossy Roads was in the picture beside the Ninja Turtle game. I played a little bit of the Ninja Turtle game, which is, again, kind of a throwback-ish with the new looks to the 4-player beat-em-up Ninja Turtle Konami games, but it's the newer style, that CG Nickelodeon style from the last couple of years, right? And then they kind of redid it.
For sure.
So, and I think I think you picked up all the games that I looked at last time I was at that Boardwalk. So
Hey, just like I said, I walked in and I was like, "Hey, can I just look around?" Because I wasn't there for our party and everything. Guys like, "Oh yeah, sure," and I just couldn't believe my eyes when I saw Space Invaders. I'm like, that's Space Invaders. I played that on my Atari 2600. You know what I mean? Like,
right. But it's been modernized, right? It's on this bigger screen. It's this different look. You ever see the four player Pac-Man versus that you'll see in Dave & Buster's and things like that too. Like, it's really like they it's the easy thing. Like, oh, I know Pac-Man, and not like, oh, I don't know this new game I've never heard of before, right? You see Halo adapted. You see Jurassic Park,
they actually had a Halo, a sit-down Halo.
Yep.
Kind of like the same kind of guns that were on the Space Invaders game, but you were on the back of the warthog. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
It was incredible.
But that's just the way the arcades are. Arcades aren't pushing that envelope, so it's like the easy, it's the easy thing. And notice, like, and from looking in the background of some of those shots, most of those arcades you end up finding are half of them are ticket machines, right?
Oh yeah.
So
90% of the machines in this place were spitting out
I
tickets.
I thought it was funny because well, I'm going to talk about a casino here in a moment, but one of the people we were hanging out with was just like, yeah, I just spent $50 at this casino, but if I went to the arcade and spent $50, I'd have nothing to show for it. Here I had a chance that I could have walked away with a little more. So
yeah,
it's like,
right.
oh wow, that really is a good point, and they're just kind of these giant glitzy arcade machines really that we're playing, right? So it's like, oh yeah, okay, all right, I get it, you know. So I've kind of I've warmed up the gambling. Does that make sense after that experience? But but yeah, no, that's awesome. But I'm wondering if this is what it's like, because I've seen it in a couple spots. There's one in Jackson, Michigan, but it was never open when I was done with work. And I passed one when I'm going to Chicago to do Warrior Wrestling on the Turnpike in Indiana. And there's these Pac-Man World arcades, like branded Pac-Man World arcades that are out there. I want to see them. It's probably just an arcade and they have Pac-Man on the sign, I'm sure. You know,
Yeah,
but
probably.
I still, like, I want to see what a Pac-Man World arcade is. So that's in these malls and stuff along the way in the Midwest there. So
You know what my problem is with gambling? Just because you brought it up, is I have gambler's remorse.
okay.
You know, because I go and spend $60 and I think, dang it, I could have taken that same $60 and bought a video game.
Well, there's that too.
And
Yep.
played it for 3 months.
Yes.
Versus one evening of sticking my dollar bills into a slot machine.
Well, thankfully, it was a social experience. Now, if I start going to, I'm not going to be one to probably go to like the Rivers Casino by myself just because, right? Because
Right.
I don't enjoy those games that much. But
Okay.
if somebody else is like, let's go gamble, I'm like, all right, I'm gonna grab a 20 and roll with you. You know what I mean?
Okay,
Like that's
yeah,
cool. That's
right.
cool. That's fine. So speaking of the casino, so I tagged along our buddy Jim Ellermeyer, Fishing Without Bait. Talked me into grabbing. We got on Spirit. I was in, and we talk about over on the pre-show on the Patreon about my experience on Spirit. By the way, got some tips for you. Katie, I think I told you those tips the other night about my issues there. But not completely against Spirit, but being 6'4", I did run into some problems that I may want to circumvent in the future. But anyways. So we're in Fort Lauderdale area, Hollywood, Florida. We spent most of our time stayed up in Boynton Beach, and I almost got talked into a tattoo down in Delray Beach with our buddy Jake Steele. So I got some ideas. For some ink now. But I'm flying in, and there's like, you know, hey, the city downtown's over here for Fort Lauderdale. You can kind of see Miami down the shoreline a little bit. But then I see this giant glass obelisk rising above the ground as we're coming in for our landing, and I'm like, what the hell is that thing? And then Jim goes to me, oh, that's where we're gonna go tonight. I'm like, what? It is, if you haven't seen this, it is the Seminole Hard Rock Casino in Hollywood, Florida, and this is the hotel. Okay, this is a guitar-shaped glass hotel, and you see the strings in the middle, right? And then below it is like the casino. There's this nice fancy pool. There's shows there, like Chappelle was coming in a few weeks. There's all kinds of eateries. There's a shopping area. It's like an all-inclusive resort kind of situation that you could just go down, live here for the week, right? Hopefully spend your money at the slots. And then at night, it lights up. It's kind of like awkward that there's no neck to the guitar. That's because they put on lights at night for the guitar strings. And on top of that, when you get to about 9 p.m., it turns into a giant music light show. That's really freaking cool. So that was awesome. And a little bit of video there from that. And not only that, they have this coordinated fountain kind of thing. And man, I I love me a nice dancing fountain kind of situation. So the waterfall comes from the top, and they would put it to music, and like all of that, all the pillars and the ceiling and everything lit up along with the music to it, and it was like a really cool thing to walk into at the entrance of the Hard Rock Casino there. So and just that kind of coordinated light show, water kind of situation. So that's my awesome thing is that and the giant hotel guitar light show that I ran into in Florida. But a great time there, other than coming back with a little bit of severe sunburn because I don't know how to apply suntan lotion apparently. So but other than that, I had a great time with that. So yeah. Have any of you ever made it down that way to that end? I've never been that far south on Florida.
Yeah, I've never been that far south in Florida either. My sister-in-law lives near Cape Canaveral, but that's as far as I've gone.
I gotta say though, each of our tickets was $86 round trip.
Wow,
geez.
so you were $1 more than my single engine flight.
Yeah, and I got a
back to
full
Pittsburgh
plane,
from
man. I got a
Virginia.
full plane.
Yeah, and you had a full plane.
Full
Yeah.
plane that I could have still used a little more room on, but still, yeah, you get the idea. Yeah, no, it's and honestly, I have it's so and you know, since we know people down there, I literally have a reminder for myself in the winter months now at the beginning of the month just to be like consider going south, because like that's, you know, just like to be able to, I haven't paid that little to go to New York City on a bus. And I take
Yeah.
Megabus.
Yeah.
So the idea that you can just like hop on, throw whatever you need in a bag. The only reason I had a stuffed bag is because I brought my work with me, and I brought like enough stuff to do podcasting and stuff too, right? And when you see the video for that I posted on Fishing Without Bait, like all those videos are my my iPhone 8 Plus and a 6S that I'm using for the over the shoulder shot here. So which I'm really impressed with how well they came out for that final edit and everything. Like even a 6S is still fantastic HD. I had a guy after a show in West Virginia a couple weeks ago asking me about like how do I do what you do like with the cameras and stuff, right? And I was like, you got an iPhone? He's like, yeah, it's like an 11 or something, right? And I was like, then use it. I was like, you already have a 4K camera in your pocket.
That's funny. I just literally told my brother-in-law that tonight.
Mm-hmm. He's like, you know how much it cost me to get a 4K camera professionally? $2,000, and that thing retails for $3,000. Okay, so like, but you can do good stuff. Don't shoot a wrestling show. Don't like, something that's locked down that you have good lighting. It's going to come out tremendous. But no, absolutely. Like if you want to get started with it, start with that. Upgrade yourself to the next thing, you know, as you warrant it, right? So, but yeah. So hey, you know what else is also good? You know what? Katie, I do a lot of traveling, as you know,
You do.
and I tend to. But at least when I come home, I can come home to some Slice on Broadway here in the neighborhood. Back in here at Beachview, right up the street, because nobody's got it like Slice on Broadway, New York City style. Yins are made, Beachview, Carnegie, East End, and the North Hills. Somebody messaged me last week and says, I didn't know there was one in East End, East Liberty. And I said, and you don't listen to my podcast, sir, because I tell you every week on that podcast. It was the other podcast, but still. And I know he's a listener too. But no, go check them out, Rico and the guys. They're going to be fun. And we're having a party this weekend, and it's going to be a Slice on Broadway pizza party, and that's going to be a part of that. And Rico's and the crew are hooking us up there with a good deal for that, so we can make sure we feed our Sorgatron Media friends with that. They're going to be here in the studio. Sorry, of course, Krause is hundreds of miles away and can't join us, but we will have a live stream scheduled for that night, and you can watch us eat pizza and celebrate 4 years of the Sorgatron Media studio location.
Wow.
That should be my awesome thing of the week, because I just realized we just passed 4 years because a picture just came up of us carrying a couch across the road. So, but yeah, we're still here after 4 years. extended our lease, coming up on our second time, I guess. Paid for by video and podcasting, and by God, a little bit of wrestling too. So, we'll talk about more of that Saturday, I guess. So, all right. I did something too. Katie, don't tell my wife. I put in $5 on the pre-order for the Steam Deck. I don't know when it's gonna come, right? It says Q2, right? So, maybe it'll come and I won't have the money. Who knows? But I put the $5 down. I got the base model because I figure I can throw more storage SD card in and it really should be good to go. But along with that, there's more details are starting to come out about it as we go. Because there's a lot of questions. What can you do with it? Is it going to be easy to throw like Game Pass on? They're talking about how you could throw Windows and just throw away the whole Linux thing that they have going on and just put what you want on it. Also, I'm interested. What can we do with this thing? Is this something we can use in the studio, on location for production or something like that? It's a possibility. And also, I really don't have a dedicated game machine for PC. So it might be a nice set for that. So apparently, I don't know if you guys are looking at it this way, but I look at the Nintendo Switch as the Game Boy, right?
I would agree.
It's the standard, right? And it's and not that it's these guys right there. I mean, Katie, is yours within reach as well?
I believe so. I think it's in my backpack.
Everybody's pulling out their Switches. And I've been like knocking on, do I get a Switch? I got Game Pass. I'm playing these games on my phone. It was nice playing this stuff on my phone while I was watching TV up in my air-conditioned studio while I'm recovering from sun poisoning on Sunday. That idea, and it actually did have a pack with a Game Gear and a Game Boy. I keep beside my bed. So in case I want to play like Dr. Mario. But anyways,
just in case.
You're like, oh no, the power's out and I'm stuck in my room. Don't know why. At least I got video games, I guess. But the point is, so I think of the Steam Deck as the Game Gear. The big, overpowered, gonna need way more AA batteries kind of thing. Not that the Switch is like super underpowered, but it's not 4K. It's not this. It's not all this stuff, right? It's capable, but not the tippity top, high end kind of thing. So I think the Steam Deck is that. I feel like I'm never going to play a Steam Deck that's not plugged into a wall. But good news, because they will be, the Steam Deck can limit frame rates to give you extra long battery life. I'm really curious because I have not seen the stats on when this thing, how much battery life this thing is supposed to give you. So if I'm sitting there playing, let's say a full-on game like Doom or Control, how long is this thing going to last on battery? Because I feel like that's going to be a lot to put into it, right? I'm sure.
Yeah, it probably does depend on what kind of game you're playing. Does it need an internet connection? Does it not need an internet connection? That kind of stuff.
It'd be great if it had a cell chip in it. But, I mean, I guess otherwise you could just run off your hotspot or something, too. So, and most people have a hotspot at this point, right? Like, that's pretty standard?
I don't own a hotspot.
Well, no, on your phone. Your phone should have it.
Oh, yeah, your phone has one.
Mm-hmm.
But, I'm on Verizon, and they limit, what is it, like 15 gig a month or something?
So, we just got bumped from 30 to 40 on AT&T.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I got sent a text a couple weeks ago that said, "Hey, we're bumping your hotspot up to 40 gigs, and we're no longer limiting you on your unlimited plan. Like the after 100 gigs or something, it'll 100 gigs, God, But yeah, they just let up a lot of that stuff. I haven't looked into the details of it, but still." So, but I haven't run into a limit yet. I'm also not trying to stream off of it anymore. Now I got some other hardware, so that's helpful. But I don't know. This seems like this still seems like we're still. This seems like a fun thing to be able to do. I got so many games on between like if I can get on Steam and play my 300 games on that. and I have everything from like the original Quake up on through, right? And I could pull up a browser in Linux that runs on it, and I can play my Game Pass. I'm good. I'm happy. Were we talking
I
about?
gotta tell you, if they could just give me a browser on the Switch that I could
Uh
get to Game Pass,
huh.
you know what I mean? Sign me up, please.
Yes.
Nintendo, come on.
Yes. Xbox doesn't need to do a mobile because everybody else is the mobile.
Exactly.
So, oh, hey, this is one. Chilla's not here, so I have an update for him. Remember a couple weeks ago he was really excited that Contra Returns was coming soon? Well, here, I'll throw it up on the side cam, but it is released. I got the notification earlier today in my email, and it is full on. Well, it's relatively what I can tell. It's a freemium Contra, so I haven't run into the pay thing yet. So I'm really curious to see how this goes. But so far, just kind of getting through the first like level and tutorial and things like that. It's a very Contra experience. Obviously, for the touch.
It's not an Apple Arcade game?
No, it is not. It is a freemium game.
Okay.
So you got to do that whole thing. Look, I mean, you can just tell by the interface. They're like, oh, this is like a Fortnite freemium kind of situation here. Okay, I see what we're doing here. But it is it's pretty good. I mean, it's got a cool vibe. I also have the Contra Legacy on like Xbox One, so if I want a Contra, I want to go full on Contra. So I imagine it's not going to be nearly as difficult considering the touch controls. At least I hope, or unless they just hate everybody. And I have a new chapter available. That's fun too. So I've been playing. Jeez, have you got? So I'm the only one on Apple Arcade here, right?
Yeah.
So sorry, I just got another message. So they've been releasing a lot of old games, right? Like re-releasing them. Like Angry Birds just came out, so I'm playing Angry Birds. I'm just playing the original Angry Birds, unironically, things like that. But they are continuing, and geez, they have they just added a bunch of stuff, and it's just like stuff that I bought before, and I'm downloading it again on arcade. Jetpack Joyride, again in our freemium game. Now it's on there, and you don't have to worry about the freemium stuff. Katie, I think I sent this to you. Do you remember the cat game?
Yes.
That was all in Japanese, and we just played it anyways, and we
Yep.
had to figure it out.
They'd bring you presents.
They would bring you presents and stuff. Hold on, there you are. So it's back, and it's in English. Good news, it's in English. It's called Nico Atsumi Kitty Collector Plus, and yeah, it's the wait for your cats to come game. And you don't have to worry about buying things or anything. It's a full-on thing. Oh, it's vertical. There you go. I want to see because I don't know if I told you before, because when I still had it installed on my phone before, there's an Apple Watch edition. So you can go and look. So basically, the idea is you have this play area. We talked about this years ago on the show. And I'll put out food and treats and toys. And if I go back to this in a little bit, cats will show up. And then there'll be a little diary and of what cats have shown up and everything too while you're going through this.
So you're collecting cats essentially?
Kind of collecting cats. Oh, well, I think that's the name of it, isn't it? So,
Yep.
Yeah, collecting cats and just.
So is it kind of like Pokemon?
It's kind of
a
like
little bit?
Pokemon, but instead of you're just like luring them, and it's not that you put it out and they show up right away. You have to like leave and come back.
Oh.
So it's a
okay.
real time kind of situation. So you may seek, like you may find cats in your thing that you haven't come across. So yeah, it's a pretty fun little Japanesey Tamagotchi type of game. And it's literally just you put out food and treats and toys and rearrange them and stuff, and they'll give you a bigger area for the cats to start to occupy, and you'll show up, and all of a sudden you have like 8 cats on your screen just playing and being adorable. And you don't have to clean up the kitty litter.
That's
So,
nice.
Yes. So, but that's and again, that's a lot of stuff. Like I don't know how much money you would have put into that game, or Jetpack Joyride, or Angry Birds before with all the add-ons that they've done. Hell, I paid for Angry Birds before, but that's all included. It's $5 a month. There's Alto's Odyssey is on there. There's actually a newer version of one that's on there. Alto's Adventure, Alto's Odyssey are really fun, super zen games. I highly recommend them, either purchasing them downloading the one on Apple Arcade. Any of these are worth the $5 a month. If you play a new one every month. So, but yeah, some really, really good stuff there. Oh, and the story that goes along with that, the whole reason I was bringing it up, there are more coming up, including Tetris is coming over, a version of Tetris, that is a, because I know there's like some free versions of Tetris as there it is, but there's also a Tetris Beat that's coming. It sounds to me, if you've never played the Tetris, is it Tetris Connected on the Xbox on Game Pass? Like it's a very musical kind of version of it, more kind of dark and ominous. But this one, yeah, it's going to be Tetris 2 music. That sounds weird, but if it's like the other game that I played on the Xbox, that's going to be really cool. There's a version of Monster Hunter, which is a really big series on the Xbox and PlayStations. But there's going to be a Monster Hunter Stories that's going to be on the Apple Arcade as well. As I mentioned, things like Jetpack Joyride are part of this next round of games on here. So like still a lot making it worthwhile for the Apple Arcade. So and then my mother finds one of these games that she's probably learning about right now as she watches this, and she'll slam through them because she's retired and has a lot more time on her hands. So did I talk about how mom like dual wields iPads so she can keep playing her game when the battery dies?
That's amazing.
She has her old iPad, she has her new iPad, and she's like, I'll just play this one, and then I'll throw it on the charger and pull the other iPad and continue playing.
Well, you could just get her a much longer cable, and then that would solve that problem.
No,
right?
that's just going to cause other problems with seeing the dogs and everything. It's not going to be okay. So I don't know why she doesn't have a plug right by her chair either. So I don't completely understand that. I know she's
a 10-foot iPad or a cable, lightning cable would solve all of her issues.
I know, right? So I don't know. There are listen, she has 2 labs, and if that thing isn't like it can't go across the room and that kind of stuff, and I don't know. Krause, no wait, this is a partner story. Hold on a second. Did anybody else find the Olympic game on the front of Google?
I saw it, but I haven't played it yet.
I clicked play on it because I'm like, what is this? And I didn't understand it was the Olympics. It's an RPG game, and it goes through this whole like anime like situation. I don't know is this the mascot for the Tokyo Games or something like that? Like it looked like a cool little anime RPG game, but I had no idea this is for the Olympics. So, you're seeing a little bit of the animation there if you guys are on video with us. But other than that, it's like a top-down. It's a top-down RPG game, and you can talk to guys, and they're going to ask you what's happening. I guess if I read more of the text, I'd figure a little more of it out. But yeah. Oh, hey, now I'm playing table tennis. That explains why I'm playing these games. Okay, I'm playing I'm playing a version of table tennis, and trying to beat these statues. I'm actually doing really good with one hand over
Are
there.
you playing 2 against 1?
Yeah, I'm the little cat guy on the left.
Okay.
Yeah, I got my power shot on. What's up? Back off, guys. And that's about as far as I got because I'm like it's one of those you went to Google to do something, and you start playing a game, and you're just like, oh wait, I had something I was supposed to be doing, and moving on. So, but I love Google. I love that Google continues to do that regardless of what else is going on here. So. Clippy will return as an emoji in some Microsoft apps. Krause, this is more you. You live more in Windows, I think, than I do, unless I'm streaming.
Yeah, for sure.
Not a lot of chances for me to emoji while video streaming, unfortunately.
I don't know. Clippy was around forever, you know. Although I don't know, people, the younger folks of today, do they even know who Clippy is?
I doubt it. But I'm glad he kind of lives on with this, right?
Yeah, it's kind of interesting that they're bringing him back, you know.
Mm-hmm. So, Katie, you're a Mac, more of a Mac user, but you must have encountered the Clippy over the years, right?
Absolutely. Sorry, I was playing Google Olympics game.
See, it gets ya. Gets you.
Audner gotcha.
Oh, no, I remember Clippy. I remember doing work in Clippy because that was what we used in school. Like that
Mhm.
was like what was in the computer libraries. We were all that kind of, and it was like, oh yeah, did you? I think you should do this. I think you should do it. I'm like, shush.
Yeah.
It was never much help. I mean, I
Oh,
don't know.
right,
Like it
because
never
he
felt.
did make noise. They did
Yeah,
like
like,
Boop boop.
yeah.
pink, pink, pink sound or something. Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
And then he'd be like, hey, it looks like you're trying to compose an email, or like, ooh, it looks like you made an error here. So I was like, shush, buddy.
Katie, speaking of distractions, you got more stories about Instagram.
Yes, Instagram's been doing some stuff.
Mhm.
So there's two big Instagram updates, and we'll go to the first one that kind of has more to do with us since we're not teenagers. Instagram, this was a last week thing, but they've added new controls for limiting sensitive content. So if you go into your settings, there's an option for sensitive content control. And what that is right now it's at limit, which is the middle setting. And there's a limit even more, which is definitely going to control. Essentially, they're limiting what kind of like what they consider upsetting content that or things that you maybe more violent, probably nudity, probably like a lot of different things. But like if you limit even more, it's going to keep more of the what they feel is offensive out of your feed. Or you can click allow, which will get rid of this control. The question is Instagram essentially picking what it considers sensitive
Mhm.
content,
Mhm.
of course, because it's what the app might consider sensitive, might not be actually sensitive material. But you can adjust that. So if you're noticing in your in like your search that they're like, why is this like there's not a lot of stuff happening, or like there's nothing offensive in my over here in the search area. What happened? This is what happened.
Yeah, it's always going to be dependent on the content manager, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, there's not much you can do about that. But still, like that they have the option and they're kind of paying attention to it is still a step forward, right? So
Yeah.
so
And
and
then the
mhm.
other one, if you're a teenager, which we are not, I won't tell, but they are trying to protect teenagers who sign up for Instagram and keep them away. I like this article from Gizmodo. It's Instagram's new setting takes aim at creepy adults. And what it's supposed to do is if you are under the age of 16 and you sign up for an Instagram, your profile is automatically private when you sign up. That means if you're not sure what that means only people that you allow to follow you can see your content, or who you're following or who follows you. And so you have to physically go in there and change that setting.
Hmm.
But once you hit 18, it will go to public if you would like it to. I believe, yeah. That's what the article said. It might go public. I wonder if that actually does that. That seems kind of annoying.
Hmm.
Um, but the other big thing is they're making it harder for what they call in this article unsavory types to find the accounts of young folks that are on Instagram and trying to flag potentially suspicious behaviors, such as adult accounts recently blocked or reported by a young person. So your
Mm.
account may get flagged if you're blocked by several young people because they think that you may be a child predator.
So it's becoming more contextual than just a flat rule.
Yes.
Interesting.
Yep.
Is that some AI, perhaps? So, no, it's probably just programming at that point. So,
Yeah.
The article I read talked about that this was rules from the EU that are forcing these companies to do this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That makes sense.
That makes a lot of sense.
And there's also the thing where they're going to stop tracking those who are 16 and under for ad information and the data they're collecting, which probably is another thing from the EU.
Yeah, probably.
Did you? I'm sorry, I might have glossed over. Did you mention the thing where they were turning everybody under 16 private on Instagram?
Yes.
And
then they have.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, sorry, multitasking a little bit.
Oh no, you're fine.
Yeah, so that's the little bit that I had heard going into this as well. So I mean, they're under a lot of pressure for this kind of stuff, and the more people misspeak or accuse them of stuff. They're going to be locking down things like that. So it'll be interesting to see what that kind of stuff turns into. So, Krause, you got a whole list of things going on here. I'm going to let you do the next picks.
We could talk about the public service announcement.
Yes.
iOS 14.7.1.
Okay.
Go update your phone. I don't know if you guys heard about the 0-day vulnerability that a bunch of political officials from other countries and stuff their phones got hacked.
Right.
This is supposedly to help that. So, be safe. Update your device. Did you see the drones from the Olympics? Speaking of the Olympics, we're talking about the Olympic game. I should have brought it up then. And it wasn't like the new world record or anything for drones, but I just thought it was fascinating. They actually took these drones and made an Earth, and it was rotating in the sky. It was incredible. And I just thought it was really cool. If you click on the Twitter link that I included, Sorg, you can see there's a couple actual videos in there too.
They've been doing a lot. They actually used drones when they did WrestleMania. They actually did WrestleMania with a crowd back in April down in Tampa, and they were using it for a lot of they were making the wrestler logos and things like that. So there's a little bit of video there of that kind of circulating thing. Wow. That's cool.
Yeah, it's just really neat. I just fascinating to me how they make that actually work.
Every time I see something like this, I go back to the last Spider-Man film. That, spoiler alert, it was all drones in the end, with hologram technology or something like that.
Yeah.
But no, that's very cool. That's very, very cool. But it also makes you think, what else can they have drones do these days?
Yeah, and another one, because it reminded me of back in the day. I don't know if you saw that Lucasfilm hired a YouTuber who used deepfake technology to fix the issues people had with, the young Luke Skywalker in the Mandalorian series. I just think it's great because back in the day it used to be, oh, did you hear so-and-so got hacked? And then they wind up hiring the hacker to safeguard the company. It's the same kind of thing. I just love those stories where, hey, this kid did something really good. We should probably hire him. You know what I mean? So, and if you look at it, they're very subtle changes, but he definitely did improve on what they did with the actual show.
Oh, absolutely.
So,
absolutely.
Yeah, like I said, it's very subtle changes, but it's definitely improved. So.
And I wonder, what did they use versus what high-end Hollywood technology and money went into them doing that first version to what did the deepfake person have to use on the other end, right?
Yeah.
So,
and then the other one we have to mention because it's new technology, the Ear One from what's the name of the company? It's just No One. Is it No One or Nothing? Nothing. It was launched. It was released today. And it's definitely going to be a competitor to the earbud, another earbud competitor, but it's only $99, and it's going to have active noise cancellation and pretty much all the same features as the Pro version of the AirPods. So it'll be interesting to see if it actually lives up to what they're 4 hours of battery life, which is pretty impressive.
Oof. Is this on the side?
$99.
Is this an LED on the side, or is that just how Nothing does
the little red mark?
No, like under you see Nothing here on one. Is that just how they write their name on there in that font?
That's just how they wrote their name in the whole dot matrix printing. Yes.
It makes me think that I'm about to. It makes me think it makes me think that it's going to be flashing messages "Leave me alone" on the side or something.
That would be great if it
awesome.
would, but no, that's just static. That's just static branding.
So I just looked at. I still have the Apple Arcade up on my iPad, and I found a game called Really Bad Chess on here. And it's just the cheapest looking chess program game that you could play. So I was just
Nice.
appreciating that. That's also on Apple Arcade. So hey, they're not all high end winners, but not usually on purpose for the most part. So I mean, it's called really bad chess. So,
Yeah, at least they're honest about it.
yeah. They're like these, but I mean, that's the kind of chess that some people was included in the say with the operating system or something like that, right? So I was fortunate that I had a copy of Chessmaster 3000 that came with my computer back in '93. So not that I'm terribly fantastic with chess, but I understand the game for the most part, which really helped when they did that Netflix series. What was that that happened over the pandemic? Queen's Gambit, I think it
Yes.
was.
Queen's Gambit, yeah,
Fantastic
tremendous
show.
series.
Fantastic show. Jeez. Also fantastic Masters of the Universe Revelation. I don't care what the internet says. Good freaking film. We had about 15 minutes we went off about it last night on the Monday Mayhem Warriors on the WrestlingMayhemShow.com. So if you're an old school He-Man fan from the 80s, you're going to love this thing. So it's literally the first episode was literally my toys in a giant battle royal. Okay, so, and then it just goes some fun ways from there. So very, very, very good thing. And even if you're it's a good story. Even if you're moderately aware of He-Man, it's a good story. I will spoiler alert for you, Katie. She-Ra does not make an appearance or reference yet but there's a second half. You don't know. So. But if anyone are curious, the She-Ra series is fantastic on Netflix as well. So has nothing to do with He-Man. They completely separated it, but very, very, very good. And there's supposed to be a live-action He-Man coming to Netflix in the coming years as well. So not done with the He-Mans. Anything else we didn't touch on the way out here? Oh, we don't have Pumpkin Time. We don't have Chill at Pumpkin Time now, right? So I don't know why I'm in a hurry to get out of here now. We can have a 2-hour show. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
No, I think that's about it. Crazy Krause, thank you so much for joining us again.
Anytime.
Thank you so much. And you're Crazy Krause with the K's on the Twitter, looking for
Krause on Facebook.
things to do in Virginia.
Well, actually, I think I'm going home this weekend. So.
Oh, good.
So I'll be back in the burg.
Maybe
I'll get some pizza after all.
Yeah, maybe get you in the studio here. We're officially opened, so yeah. So I'm going to be opening the curtains for the first time Saturday night.
Oh, awesome!
So since we got the curtains shortly after the pandemic started, I have not regularly opened these, like maybe a peek here and there to let some light in. But we have not opened them to the public.
Well, the sun glare is a real thing.
The sun glare, of course, we will still have it because the sun glare is a problem, and we haven't had that all summer because we got these guys. It's fantastic, fantastic. So this will be a better view at night, at least when we do the over the shoulder with the curtains open when we finally do that again. So, and we'll get back to. I got my arm on another mouse here, apparently. Oh, no, there we go. Wrong titles. Well, since I had her title up, also, thank you, Katie, for being on the show again.
Hey, no problem.
From your remote location.
Yes, up north.
Yes. She's it looks like you're in a cabin in the woods.
Yes, I am. The paneling.
Yeah, the paneling is what does it. We're like, you're definitely up towards, if not in Mercer County. That looks like, yeah.
Getting up there.
Classic Pittsburgh outskirts home, or Pennsylvania outskirts home. Anyways, we used to bug Bobby F. J. Town because he's got the same wood paneling in his house in Johnstown. So, but now he just lines it with pop figures, so it's completely, you don't even tell. Of course, please go check out @Sorgatron on the Twitter for myself, and check out all the fantastic things going on there. I love Podner's been in the chat room tonight. He says, hi, it looks like you're making a podcast. Do you need help? In reference to that Clippy story earlier. We are looking to, we'll see how the party goes, but we're aiming to hopefully live stream here at 9 p.m. Eastern time on Saturday for the Sorgatron Media 4-year studio anniversary party. And we got a lot of guests that we've invited in here. So who knows who's going to stop by? It's going to be like, it's gonna be like one of those it's gonna be it's like a holiday special where oh man, here's Bob Newhart. I just placed our era, didn't we? But anyways, Thank you, everybody, for joining us. You have been our awesome audience. Please have an awesome week. This show is a member of the Sorgatron Media Podcast Network. Find out more at sorgatronmedia.com.